Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Welcome to
everyone.
Worth the Listen. I'm Penny, and with me is my longtime bestie, Maya.
Hello, girl.
Hello.
How are you?
Good morning.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Um,
Bringing on the
Today,
coffee.
that's right. She's got coffee. I've got tea. It is a cold winter day here in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can see behind us, but it is definitely gray cast.
Yeah.
And
Because why we're wearing gray.
ironically, I came over in gray and Maya had on gray. So we're feeling the weather today, needless to say. But so today, actually, we are talking about winter, and specifically, we are focusing on winter wellness and how to beat the winter blues.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a blog recently on sort of like a list of things that you can do to help combat the winter blues. And so we're here to really just discuss ways and methods that we use
Right.
to, help, just alleviate some of those like bluesy feeling winter blues. And but we first want to just say that if you are struggling in any way, shape, or form mentally, definitely seek out professional medical advice. The list that we created was really more or less just like ways that you can help beat some of these symptoms. If you are sensitive in the winter to you know um, not being outside enough and that kind of thing. But
Feeling low.
yes,
Feeling
yeah,
low.
but
Down and out.
but this is in no way a list that replaces medical advice.
Yeah.
So
We are not doctors.
no, but
we're not medical practitioners.
but we definitely think that these are tried and true methods that you can use
Yeah.
to just help improve your overall well-being.
Get through this part of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs self-care. I'm a
Everyone needs
huge,
self-care.
huge fan and proponent of self-care, and
Yeah.
I know Maya is as well. So
Yeah. And I mean, there's studies out there that show, there's a lot of studies
yeah,
that show that, the months after the holidays bring on the most blue, and depressive moments.
yeah,
And
it's not surprising.
no, it's not. And a lot of it is attributed to, and I know that I get this, it's like post-holiday letdown, right? Like Christmas and the New Year's is my favorite holiday. So then like when I'm putting all of the decorations away and
Yeah.
have to put the house back together again, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
sad, right?
Yeah.
So some people they get that. And then, you know, I'm guilty of it, overspending during the holidays. And so then you're looking at your credit card bill and you're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to dig myself out of that hole? Right.
Yes.
Like we
Yeah.
get excited. We want to be able we want to be able to give.
Yes.
And so oftentimes that means, breaking our holiday budgets.
Yeah. And I think you're so distracted over the holidays, with all the parties and all the gift giving. And,
yeah.
You really are surrounded by a lot of cheer and just fun moments.
Right.
And then, January is sort of just like it's like a chapter of the year is closing.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, oh, well, it's kind of sad. Now what do I do now?
Right.
And so, and as everyone knows, January is also a time for self-reflection, resolutions and intention setting and that kind of thing. And which is all great. But I think that when you do a lot of self-reflection, it's sometimes hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think not all of our audience, but some of our audience are empty nesters like me and Bobby. And it's hard. I think what adds to it as well is like your kids are going back to college or they're going back to their houses with their families and you're sending your kids back to school. And so you've had all this family time, you've had all this togetherness. And then all of a sudden it's like you're back into the grind, you're back into the routine. And I think that just kind of adds to the blue feeling and just like, we need more to kind of get us up and out.
Yes. So for me, I just feel hungover in so many ways. Financially hungover, physically hungover. I mean, it's sometimes mentally hungover. But I think it's just sort of just pushing through and finding ways to help push through.
Yeah.
Is really what we're talking about here. So Anyway, but we'll get straight to the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maya, you take
Yeah, I'll take the lead.
take
Well,
the
and it's
first.
interesting too, because so Penny wrote this blog, and then, I sort of dove into it. I wanted to see like what she had put into the blog versus like what I practice myself. And surprisingly enough, I do 29 of
Ah,
your 60 recommendations.
cool.
And then I do some others, which I'll, talk about after as recommendations.
Mhm.
So the first one was take a break from technology,
Mm,
which, again, speaking of studies, there are a number of studies, and there's
yeah.
actually one out by the National Institute of Health, that social media causes depression. Too
Yeah.
much social media causes depression.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, instead of dry January for alcohol, which I failed miserably, by the way, big F plus plus.
I'm doing damp
You're
January,
doing
so
damn. You're doing well.
I'm off the hook.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I was thinking, instead of dry January for alcohol, like
Mhm.
dry January for technology and
Yeah.
like social media.
Yes.
And I have actually, it's our former real estate agent. He gets off social media the entire month of December. And so, like,
Mm.
for some
Wow.
people, you're on it because it's the holidays and, you want to
Yeah.
be inspired by what's out there. But I'm thinking January might be a good time to just like
Yes.
step away
Mhm.
from the technology. Because if you're already struggling with, gray weather,
Mm.
snow, post holiday blues,
Mhm.
hopping on social media 24/7 may not be good for the psyche. So I
Yeah.
thought that was awesome.
No, that's a really good point. And I also think that January is sort of a month where people are sort of just, you know, hibernating and just going back to their caves, which
Mhm.
which actually could lend itself to more social media. But if you can replace that
With
with maybe
something.
reading or watching movies instead or playing board games, I agree with
Yeah,
you. I think it's a good month to really just sort of just detox
absolutely.
from social media
Yeah.
and really just sort of reset your body because I think what you might find is that, oh, I don't need to be on it, and yes, I do feel better, and hopefully you curtail those habits.
Right.
Easier said than done.
Done. Much easier said than done.
I
And
am,
maybe it's just a slight pullback,
yeah,
right? It
yeah.
doesn't have to be cold turkey. Maybe it's
Mm,
just a slight pullback. And you could replace it with your number two was start a gratitude journal,
yeah.
which I think is fantastic. So obviously we love writing because we write blogs. And I've always said this to you, I find writing to be cathartic
Mhm.
and therapeutic. And
Yeah.
so even if you're just listing the
Mhm.
things that you are grateful for
Yeah.
on a daily basis, and if it's one or two things, I mean,
Mhm.
that I think can change the trajectory of your mood
Yeah.
as you start your day.
Yeah, you mentioned psyche, and another scientifically proven thing is that when you focus on the good in your life and being grateful for and just making lists and reverting back to those lists and really looking at it every single day, it really does shift your whole perspective. So I think it's something that it's an easy to implement tool. I think everyone should be doing it,
Mhm.
especially in this day and age. There's just it just seems like there's just so much I don't know, and negativity,
Yeah,
and a lot of that is media based. But I feel like, yeah, just starting a gratitude journal is one of the
mhm.
easiest things you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Meditate. So I know that
Mm,
you would do this regularly.
yes.
I go on and off the meditation track, but
Yeah.
when I can quiet my mind,
Hmm.
it really does reset me. Like
Yeah.
and here's the great thing about meditation is you don't have to do it for a long time. I
No.
mean, you can do
10 minutes.
it for 10 minutes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you can do it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I highly recommend, if you're interested in starting meditation, the
Hmm.
book 10% Happier by Dan
Mm.
Harris. And actually now there's a podcast. It's the 10% Happier podcast.
Huh.
So that might be a great way to just kind of get yourself going.
Yeah.
But he started with like 5 minutes. And then
Yeah.
he's built up to where like he has days where he just meditates. I don't know how you do that, but
Yeah.
and you use
I'm
an app.
I do, and the thing is, like, meditation is it's going to be different for everyone because
Mhm.
we're all busy and but finding time to do it every day, I think is another thing that I cannot live without now.
Yeah.
I try to get in at least 10 minutes a day, but for me, the formula is 20 minutes a day. I usually don't do it on the weekends because I just get
Right.
off track and you know other stuff happens. But Monday through Friday, it's just I try to stick to my routine,
Yeah,
and it
that's
really
great.
does make a humongous difference. Especially if you are one that you're in a career that um, requires you to focus or be creative. I think it's hugely
Mhm,
beneficial.
mhm.
Or just have
Or
any
it's
amount of,
physical, if it's physically
I
demanding,
was
I
going to say,
feel
any
like,
amount of patience. It
yeah,
definitely reduces anxiety. So yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
it's
That's
great.
a great one.
Yep.
Register for a class or workshop, or something that interests you. I think that's
Mhm.
amazing. It made me think of, and I have not done this, but like there's a number of universities and colleges that offer free, I mean, even like Harvard, Princeton, Yale, where they
Yeah.
offer free online classes.
Oh
So,
wow.
or like, I don't know, get Rosetta
Really?
Stone and learn a new language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great.
This is where technology is a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
right? And having your computer in front of you is a beautiful thing, is that you have access to more knowledge
Mhm.
than than any of us can ever, even
Yeah.
handle. But if you're trying to, again, find ways to stay positive, to stay inspired, to stay energized, registering for a class, or some sort of, like painting, like a painting class. I
Yes.
can't draw a straight line. I don't know if I would ever even register for a
Yeah.
painting class, but yeah, step out of your comfort zone.
I agree with that, and I also think that it takes the focus off of you. And when you don't have enough to do,
Yeah.
it's like, sometimes that can breed a little
Hmm.
bit of, sadness or
Right.
something. When you
Absolutely.
don't have enough going on,
Right. Right.
right? So,
Right.
but I'm sure that a lot of us out there have too much going on.
Hmm.
But if you can, learning something new
Right.
is such
It's fulfilling.
it's totally
You feel great about
fulfilling.
yourself.
You really do.
Yeah.
And it really is, it stimulates your brain in positive ways. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
No, I think it's great. I might look
Mhm.
into that. I'm not 100% sure. Invite someone over for tea, or, in parentheses, or wine.
Mhm.
Clearly, we're doing that right now.
Yes.
But it's interesting. You have a couple things in here that are about sort of like getting together with people that you haven't seen in a long time, or like grabbing a lunch with a girlfriend.
So
I think
call me
it's
old
great.
fashioned, but I think that in this day and age, people don't get together enough.
Yeah.
And the one thing, if I could impart to especially the younger audience out there, is that make time to get together physically with people that you love, whether it be
Hmm.
your family members, friends,
Right.
because it just brings so much joy that
Absolutely.
into your life, and compassion and
Hmm.
laughter and
Connection.
just connection.
Yeah.
Texting, it doesn't count.
Mm-mm.
Talking on the phone is fine,
Right.
but I feel like getting together,
Yeah.
for anything, just
Absolutely.
dinner at someone's house or tea or wine. I mean, it's huge.
It is.
Just getting, reconnecting with people
Hmm.
on a human level.
It's great.
Mhm.
It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Listen to music you love and sing or dance like no one is watching. Well, Penny and I danced on
Mhm.
Saturday night like nobody was watching. And that was actually really
It
fun. I mean,
was.
it was
We
really,
had a blast.
sometimes you got to let your hair down and you got to go a little bit crazy,
We were doing
but
many of these
we were
things
doing many
all
of
at the
things.
same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But this reminded me of,
Mhm.
all of your ideas sort of sparked a thought in me. And I remember years ago, I had a friend who, whenever she would fly,
Yeah.
would listen to Christmas music, because she was
Uh-huh.
a she was an anxious, flyer, and she loved Christmas music. So
That's
again,
cool.
I think it sort of is very similar to that,
Yeah.
right? Like this is a time of year where we could be snowed in, or it's gloom and doom out there every single day. So put
Yes.
on your favorite, if you have
Your
vinyl, put on your
favorite
favorite
music.
record, put on your
Yes.
favorite music, and help to
Absolutely.
lift you up.
Yep.
Um, Buy yourself some flowers or a new plant.
Mhm.
I think anything that requires like sprucing is
Yeah.
always a little
Yeah.
sprucing.
Yes, something that just brings you some joy that you can bring into your home, I
Hmm.
think is the point here. But, a
Plus the
plant's nice.
smell of flowers. They
Yes,
just, yeah, that
flowers
makes me
and
happy.
plants are just happy little creatures. So,
Hmm.
mhm.
Buy, draw, take an art class, make some art. I'm going to pass that on to somebody else. I'm not an artist,
Yes.
but
So I do art with my daughter sometimes, and it really is. I mean, there's a reason why there's art therapy out
yeah.
there.
Hmm.
It really it soothes you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
for
I
sure.
think that's great. Take a long walk or go for a run. So
Hmm.
I can't run because my knees are shot, but I don't know about you,
Mhm.
but I love walking my dog when it's cold outside. The
Mm.
cold air wakes me
Mm.
up.
Yep.
I mean, it may not wake me up in a way that I want to be woken up.
Yeah.
It's like cold plunging.
Yep.
But you want to feel alive? Go walk your dog in 20-degree weather or wherever you are in the if you're in -4, I probably wouldn't recommend that.
Yep.
That's why they canceled the football game the other day. But like
Mhm.
if it's safe enough where, medical professionals aren't saying stay inside,
Yeah.
go outside and get that fresh air.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, I feel like that just
I
makes you feel alive.
100% agree. I'm not great at doing that because I'm not a huge morning person. Like it takes me a while to get out of bed, got on my coffee, like things have got to happen before I step outside. But my husband does it every single morning.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, gets on his
Go.
shoes, gets on his coat, walks the
Mhm.
dog. Like he's really regimented about it, and he loves it. And I believe in it. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're doing that.
I love it.
That's
I love walking
another
anywhere.
easy thing that
It
you could
is.
do.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
walking is easy on the body, and you can go at your own pace. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I like about walking.
Yeah.
Get a massage or a facial. This I loved because I definitely like if there's a time of year where I'm going to do like a body scrub
Mm,
or like some sort of like facial glow, it's this
yes.
time because I
Yes.
feel like when you can slough off
Hmm.
that dead skin and
Yes.
that cracking skin, and we've
Yeah.
actually written a blog about this too,
Yeah.
that just makes you feel
It does.
renewed,
It really does, and it feels good
Yeah.
just to be pampered in that way. But
And you don't have to go out and pay for these things either. Like, if you have a spouse or you have a lover or
Mhm.
you've got friends that like do a girls' petty day or like
Yes.
have your partner give you a rub down. Like,
Yes.
have them draw you a bath. These are things that
Yeah.
you don't have to go out and spend money. You can
No.
do these things in the comfort of your home.
You really can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's another one. I don't do enough of them. I have a girlfriend who goes once a month
Yeah.
to she's got one of those club massage
Hmm. Hmm.
memberships and she swears by it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to take a page out of her book.
Hmm.
Not there yet,
I'm
but
not either,
I
but I
can
would,
see
yeah.
where, it can really I think that it just releases certain chemicals in your
Sure,
body
absolutely. I
that
think
are
they're known for like releasing toxins and just again,
Mhm.
it's just a reset.
Yeah,
So
for
we're all
sure.
for that. Read a magazine or a book that speaks to you or lifts you up.
Yep.
And
So
so we just got this book from a friend.
yes.
We both
We
did.
thought we would mention this because
Hmm.
our friend Chris sent both of us, and it was such a surprise. He just mailed both of us this book. It's the new Oprah and
Hmm.
Arthur C. Brooks book. It's called Build the Life You Want, but it's really more a book about how to be happier in
Yeah,
life. And so, again, it's just another way to just feed your mind with
right.
positive affirmations and
Absolutely.
ideas. So,
Yeah.
which is helpful.
Okay. My husband told me I'm not allowed to talk about our sex life, but explore sensual and sexual pleasures. And I will say, when you're an empty nester, you got more time on your hands. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And that makes
Yeah,
me feel really good.
yeah.
I'm not depressed at all.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, everyone needs it,
You do.
right? Like you shouldn't. This is nothing to be ashamed
No.
about. So, even if you're not
Even if it's
married,
sex for one. I mean,
that's
there
right.
are ways to get her done,
Yes,
girls.
that there are many ways. But I think that this is another important one.
It is.
So,
And it goes back to also like the whole human connection, right? There's
mhm.
nothing quite like a hug or a touch or, a
Yes,
soft kiss or just
just being
held,
intimate
being intimate in
in
some way,
general.
whatever that looks
Yeah,
like. Absolutely.
for sure.
Cook your favorite meal or experiment with new foods or recipes. So this is something that we've started to do simply
Mm.
because we are trying to subscribe to a healthier lifestyle. And my husband calls me his sous chef, so I'm now like spending more time in the kitchen. So while
Fun.
he's doing most of the cooking, we are kind of brainstorming ideas
I've
together.
got a recipe for you.
Well, we will take it
Yeah,
and we will try it.
my girlfriend sent me a cookbook and for Christmas, and I tried this one recipe, and I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but dang girl,
Yeah.
my kids were just like wanting seconds and thirds. They were
Okay.
so good. Yeah, and it's a
Awesome.
great winter dish. I might share it on the different blog.
Yeah, I
But
do like a good hearty. There's nothing quite like a hearty chili or a hearty stew
yeah,
or a
this
hearty
is like a
soup.
soup.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those things. That's comfort food.
It is.
I think helps with the blues as well.
Good point.
Okay, take a nap. Are you a napper?
No,
Me neither.
never
Can't do
been
it.
able to.
Mm-mm.
I do know people who can take naps, and I feel like if you're really having a tough day, I feel like that's, if I was having a really hard day or a hard time, that is when I would nap.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
some people love to nap.
Yes. Oh, my husband can nap like a champ.
So
If it
Kevin,
was a sport, he would get a gold medal.
it's impressive.
It is impressive.
I don't know how they
It is
do it, but
impressive.
they do it.
I'm a little jealous, to be honest with you, because I don't. I can't settle my mind like
Mm,
that.
see, I'm not jealous. I feel like there's not enough hours in the day to do all the things I want to do.
Mhm. But even like I've been told like a 5 minute nap, a 7 minute nap, the cat nap, right?
Ah,
15 minutes
yeah,
can work wonders.
yeah,
But it's just not my thing. I'm like you. I'm like 15 minutes. I
yeah.
can, I can clean the bathroom.
I think the last time I took a power nap was in college, like in between
Is that
drinking
what they call it?
sessions.
Is that what they call it in college? Honey? We're
You
gonna go
remember
with
those?
that. We're gonna go with that. Oh yeah, I took a lot of naps. All
Oh.
right, sit in front of a light therapy lamp. So you actually do this. So
Yes.
share this
So
with us because I've never done it. Is it like
I even
vitamin
forgot that
D?
I had this light lamp.
Okay.
I got it a few years ago, and I was like, I'm kind of feeling a little winter bluesy. And then I was like, where's that light lamp? So I looked for it, I found it, and they're only like $20,
Hmm.
but basically they mimic daylight,
Okay.
and they're supposed to just increase the serotonin or in your body
Okay.
naturally. So it's kind of mimicking,
Hmm.
or you're getting that vitamin D boost. But again, I'm not a medical professional, but I do believe that it works
Okay.
because right after I sit in front of it, I do feel like sort of a boost of energy,
Yeah.
which is good.
I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah.
We have a brand partner that offers them. Is that the link that you put in here? Is it higher dose
I
or do you use
probably
it?
didn't. I
Okay.
think I'd used
Use
an
the one you
Amazon
did.
link,
Okay. Okay.
but
Because you can get them on Amazon. You can get
yes,
them, yeah, a number of
yeah,
places.
but they definitely work.
And it's interesting. I have some other suggestions, and part of it has to do with your house, and I'll get to those, before we wrap up here. But
Mhm.
one of the things I said about your home is bring in more light, right? Like my husband's a caveman. If it was up to him, all the blinds would be closed 24/7. And I'm like
No.
light bright. I'm like bring it in. So
Yeah.
like push your drapes back, bring up
Yes.
your blinds,
Yes.
let in natural light. And if you're
Yeah.
in an apartment that doesn't have a lot of windows, then bring in more lamps, light more
Yeah.
candles. Like
Mhm.
just, I don't know, light makes us feel better.
It does.
Right?
It
So
definitely helps me.
yeah. Okay. Spend time in nature. We kind of talked about this, but like sit in
Yes.
the park, walk, go to
Yes.
the lake, or the ocean. And we were in Florida a couple weeks ago, and that just being on the beach,
Yeah.
listening to the ocean,
Yeah.
amazing.
It's unfortunate in the winter you can't really take your shoes off because it's so cold.
Hmm.
But there is something called grounding that I wrote about in a different blog that I'll post in the future. But it's grounding is like the practice of putting your feet on the earth's surface, and it could
Hmm.
be the beach, it could be the grass, whatever. But it has like this there's something about the magnetic force from the earth
Hmm.
that really helps to just sort of just ground you,
Yeah.
just to create some balance in your body.
Become
So
one with the earth.
yes, that's why
Yeah.
people feel relaxed when they're at the beach. Think
Absolutely.
about it.
Toes in the sand, baby.
That's right.
Okay, volunteer or help someone else. I thought this was great because, as you know, I told you last week that Bobby and I are going
I
to start
know. And I'm
volunteering.
so
Yeah.
happy and proud that you're doing that. I actually need to do that.
Yeah.
You've inspired me. So I'm going to
Thanks.
start looking for an organization
Hmm.
that inspires me.
There's nothing more fulfilling than giving your time to
Yes.
a person or an organization that needs you.
Yep.
And let me tell you, every nonprofit out there needs volunteers.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. So yeah, check in your, local community. There's places that you can go right down the street from your house.
Yeah.
And just a couple hours a week
Yeah.
makes all the difference in the world.
It really
It really
does.
does.
I love it. I love that one.
Sit and talk with your kids. Well, I can't do that because they're in college, but
I do this.
you can do this. But here's the power of, FaceTime and
Yeah.
Snapchat video. And,
Yes.
even if your kids are grown and have their own children,
Yeah.
it's like my mom and I talk not every day, but we talk a lot during the week.
Yeah.
And, I'm 51 and she's 76. And I know when we get off the phone with each other, we both feel so much better.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like that whenever I talk to anyone on the phone,
Yeah.
frankly. But no, for me it's more of selfish, like because I want to hug my kids.
Hmm.
But I, tell them to come sit with me on the couch and we just have a little snuggle
Yeah,
session. Even if
absolutely.
it's just for 5 minutes. Now my son's probably not going to want this going out to his friend, but I make him sit with me and we just talk. And it's so nice
It is.
because sometimes he'll really, just lay it out,
Right.
but and
They'll surprise you.
and it's really
Yeah.
cool because and then he's like, oh, I feel better, you know.
Good. See, sometimes I don't even think they need it sometimes.
Nope.
That's where your intuition kicks in.
Yep.
And then you added play games with your kids, and I think
Yes.
I think it's great for you if you're trying to make yourself feel better. Again, during this tough time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it also gets them off social media and gets their phones out of their hands.
And kids do
Mhm.
love games.
Oh yeah.
Like my kids.
You have a family
Yes.
game?
So we will play. Oh gosh, yeah, we do have several games, but we played this one. Oh gosh, I'll think of the name of it in just a second. But it was so daggone good that we played over Christmas. But we play sequence, we play gin rummy, we play mahjong, we
Mhm.
play yeah, Uno, we play oh, and sometimes we'll just like play Mario Kart together, and
Yeah.
it's the most hilarious thing. Like I don't know what it is, but we just all laugh our asses off.
Oh, I love it.
And Bellamy gets really competitive too. It's funny.
That's
'Cause
great.
she's not a super like video game
Right,
person,
right.
but when you get her on Mario Kart,
Yeah,
she's like,
games
"Watch
bring out
out."
the best in people and they bring out the worst in people.
It's fun.
Yeah, we're an Uno and Monopoly family, and I mean we play other games too, but those are the two games where it gets heated.
Yeah.
Like we might have to separate people and put them on the other side of the room. Yeah, obviously eat well and nourish your body.
Yes.
And it's interesting because Penny walked into my house today and my blender is on my counter because I'm going to
Yes.
start making smoothies.
I saw
So
that.
smoothies, I mean, you are what you
Mhm.
eat, right? They say. So like if you're feeling blue and you're feeling
Mm.
down, it would be smart to just put good stuff in your body.
100%. So Maya made me this golden milk the other
Oh,
day,
yeah.
and it was
It's called a
so
golden milk latte.
delicious.
Mhm.
But that's just another example
Mhm.
of just nourishing your body with all kinds of yummy.
It is. So I'll put this in a blog post at some point. But this golden milk latte, which if you ever want to not have mine homemade,
Mm.
Cafe Stella is
Oh,
who introduced me to the golden milk latte.
okay.
But it is whatever milk you drink. So I drink either almond or oat milk.
Yes.
Okay. And then you mix in powdered ginger,
Mm-hmm.
turmeric,
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon,
Mm-hmm.
and then pepper.
Yes.
And then
some honey.
and some either honey syrup or agave or
Yeah.
whatever, and you whisk it. So you heat it. You can. And the great thing about these is that you can drink them cold
Yeah.
or warm.
Oh.
So in the summer, I drink them cold, which is
Yeah.
great. And in the winter, I drink them. But this drink is all about it's an anti-inflammatory,
Mm.
right? And it's kind of silky when it goes down.
It is
isn't it?
delicious.
It's
I had never
delicious.
had it before, and she
Mhm.
made this for me, and we warmed it up, and it was just so just comforting
It is
and
comforting.
really
Mhm.
delicious. I enjoyed it.
And the pepper, I'm not a spice person at
Mm.
all, but it does add a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
And I think in these cold days,
Mhm.
having that sort of heat inside,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yes.
So try one and then let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Meet up with a friend or a loved one for lunch or dinner. Fantastic
Yep.
idea. And I think even like keeping them intimate, right? Small, I don't know. I feel like when you can engage in a really great conversation and a
Mhm.
bottle of wine,
Yeah.
that's just feel good.
Yes,
Right?
I agree. I think it almost goes back to that whole, Sex in the City sort of thing where it's just the four girls together,
Mhm.
or even just a couple of
Yeah.
people, because you really can just share more intimacy
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
connect easier because you're not, all eh, not everyone's trying to get your
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
So I love that.
I do too.
We actually haven't done that in a while. You and I do it, and sometimes I do it with my other
Mhm.
friends. But yeah, there's just something about it.
Yeah.
Getting
Well, we
together.
did on Saturday go out to dinner with our husbands, and that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think sometimes like great ambiance, a really, upbeat environment, like not a club, but like
Yeah.
an upbeat environment it's the energy that
Yeah.
you're pulling from that, and the
Yes.
person you're having a conversation with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I even do it, without alcohol and without,
Mhm.
going out. Like, I mean, I sometimes I just really love just connecting over lunch and just, having that time as well. So
Absolutely.
lunch or dinner,
Lunch,
whatever
dinner,
you prefer.
snack, brunch. Uh, Enjoy a bubble bath with Epsom salt or not. I do love a good Epsom salt
Mm,
bath.
yes.
Now, I don't really fit in bathtubs anymore because I'm like a giant, but we did go into a hot tub when we were in Florida,
Oh,
and that was really nice.
I know.
So,
We were actually thinking about getting a hot tub.
we are
And I'm
too.
not a hot tub person, like
Mhm.
especially when I'm on vacation. I don't know, I have this weird thing with hot tubs. But if it were my own personal hot tub,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Mhm.
I think I've got that last on my list, but
It's a great one.
yeah,
It really is a great one.
for sure.
Take music lessons. Okay. Yeah, get your guitar out. Get your piano out.
Hey, it's therapeutic for some.
It is. Or
Yeah.
dance. Here we go. Take dance lessons. Or just dance in the kitchen like
Hey,
Penny and I did.
that's it. That's it.
But I mean, dance lessons are a great thing to do either on your own, especially if you want to meet people, or
Yeah.
it's great to do with your spouse or partner. So
Yeah. And there are free ones, I believe, on YouTube. Like free
oh,
dance
okay.
courses you can take. Yeah,
Good
I'm
to
pretty
know.
sure. Yeah,
Have to look that up. Mhm.
absolutely.
Watch a funny movie. So I put this here. So we're not watching any funny movies at the moment, but we are rewatching Modern Family.
Oh,
And
that's a
I
great
don't
one.
know, it's funnier now than it was the first time I watched it. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I can relate more to the storyline.
Yeah.
But and then last night we were with friends and they were talking about like rewatching Cheers and Seinfeld. And
Oh,
so I think it could be a great movie,
yeah.
something that has you in stitches, or like a great comedy that, just need
Schitt's
to go
Creek.
back. Now that's a good
We
one.
talked about
We
that on
did
the
talk about that one.
last pod. What else? I watched. Is it the Invincible Kimmy Schmidt? Have you ever seen that one?
No, but I've heard of it. Oh, actually, I think we started it, but we didn't finish it.
That
But
one
that is
was one
is
of my
funny.
faves.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that one I actually have watched a couple of times over.
All right, I'm gonna have to
That's
get
a
back
good
to it
one.
then.
It's
I'll get back
funny.
to it. Bake for someone else and deliver it to them. Oh, I mean, honestly, that's probably the best way to bake. Otherwise, you're eating what you bake, and then there goes the whole concept of putting good things in your
Yeah, and I think it
body.
just goes back to the whole like focus on others instead of yourself.
Yeah,
Whatever maybe they're going through a hard time, maybe not.
right.
Maybe you just want to bring them something to
Yeah,
because you love them, and
absolutely.
yeah, and
Well,
it's
and I think
just
it's like take the baking out of it. If you can be there for somebody else during a time
mhm.
where, they're struggling,
Yeah,
that not only makes them feel better, but that is a feel good for yourself. That would definitely get you out of the blues. So,
100%. Yeah.
all right, we talked already, like have a cup of tea, herbal tea. Do you have a favorite tea?
Hmm. Um, I don't know if I have a favorite. I have so much tea in my
Hmm.
one of my drawers at home. I collect tea.
Yeah, I do too. I love the canisters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I collect it more than I drink it, but I
Yeah.
do love a good cup of tea.
Yeah, let's see. So I have a detox tea that I
Mhm.
often drink. I love green teas of any variety. I like there is this one, it's by Yogi, and it's like an orange tea, but it's
Mhm.
also it's like a stress relief tea,
Yeah.
but it's like so yeah, I like things because when I'm drinking my tea, it's usually later in the day, and
Mhm.
it's when I just want to unwind.
Right.
So that's
Good.
usually what I
We'll
should
have
go
to do a
for.
whole post on the teas that we
Yes,
like and that we've gotten because I do love a good cup of tea.
absolutely.
All right, this one. Explain this. Ask for what you need. I mean, I always ask for what I need anyway, but no, I really don't. But ask for what you need. What do you mean by
I
that?
think it just means that sometimes we don't. We're so. Here's the thing. It's all about balance, right? So
Mhm.
focusing on others definitely brings you joy,
Mhm.
but sometimes if we're burnout, which people suffer from burnout
Yeah,
quite a bit,
absolutely.
you need to you know speak up
Yeah.
and tell the people that you love the
Mhm.
most that uh, what you need.
Right.
You need a
Absolutely.
break.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
need 5 minutes.
Mhm.
I can't you know cook dinner tonight.
Right.
Like,
Right.
can someone else handle that for me? I just need a
I
break.
hope Bobby doesn't ask me that.
done that before.
We'll be getting takeout.
Like, mama is not cooking in that. Like, this is what I'm talking about. And, you know, and
But
if
it
you,
is important. I mean, it's
yeah,
important any time of year. But I think certainly, and I sort of took it as like, again, if you're feeling down and out and you're in this funk, right? And you can't
mhm.
seem to, and you know, it's more of a funk than it is like either depression or we've even touched on hormones. Like
Yeah.
I said to Penny earlier, I was like, you can get the winter blues in the middle of June if you're hormonal. If
Yeah.
menopause is kicking in or your hormones are raging, it could feel like the dead of winter on the sunniest day in June.
Yes.
So, but and even in that instance, we've talked about that. Like
Yeah.
when you're going through these major hormonal shifts,
Yeah.
your loved ones need to be able to be there for you.
Yes.
You have to be able to communicate that to them.
Absolutely. And not to digress too much, but I feel like a lot of times people are like, do I have the winter blues? Am I depressed? It could be hormones.
It could be hormones.
I mean, the whole reason we started this
Mhm.
podcast was to talk about women's issues.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's something that you should definitely
Yeah.
consider if it's a consistent sort of like feeling of lack of motivation, lack of energy, feeling blue,
Mhm.
or down or whatever it
Just
is.
out of sorts, not
Out of
feeling
sort,
yourself.
like not feeling
Mhm.
yourself,
Want to
get
rip someone's face off.
that too.
That could be a problem.
I mean, just get your blood levels checked.
Yeah.
You never know. It could be
Mhm.
something completely hormonal
Yeah.
that has just got you out off
Absolutely.
course.
Well, and I think the new year is also a good time, yeah, to just get your health and wellness house in order,
Yes.
right? Like we talk about like our financial house in order and life planning and whatnot, but like
Your
it
health.
is in your health. If you don't have your health,
Mm,
everything else suffers.
that's it.
Right. So
Yep.
yeah.
Self
And I
care, self
think
care.
the ask for what you need, it also reminded me of our conversation with Carla, is when you're talking to a medical professional and they're not getting you and they're not understanding you,
Yeah.
you might need to ask to talk to another doctor. You might
Yes.
need to switch medical professionals completely because there's nothing worse than not being heard.
Or ask again.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to, I don't want to say brush aside any of your concerns, but you definitely need to ask again and be specific
Yeah.
about what it is that you're concerned about and what you need.
Absolutely.
So,
Mhm. I love this one too because I think this sort of goes back to like decluttering because I think decluttering is one of those things that again can kind of lift you out of this feeling of despair.
oh,
But
yeah.
donate clothing and other things that you don't need anymore.
Yes.
And that is when we pulled up to our friend's house last night, they're redoing their garage.
Hmm.
And so they're getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. And
Yeah.
and Stacy was like, we put all this stuff on the street today, and it's half of it's gone.
Yeah.
Right. So what did I say? One person's trash is another
man's
person's treasure.
That's it.
And again, yeah, if you can just
Yes. But I'm sure if anyone out there has donated things before or gotten rid of a bunch of stuff, it feels good.
yeah, it does.
Like
There's
you just
nothing
feel
like
like,
purging.
oh my God, I don't know what it is about it, but
Mhm.
you're just like, okay, like that felt great.
Yeah,
Like, getting rid of all
absolutely.
that crap.
Yep.
Yep.
It is. You're shedding. Again, I feel like it's
Mhm.
part of a shedding process.
Yeah.
And then this kind of speaks to the same thing, but organize. Organize your closets, your drawers, cabinets, desks, whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been doing that a little bit each day. And like
Mhm.
yesterday I did my closet and it feels good.
Yeah,
Right.
that-
Like when you
that-
can find things.
Yes. And it just looks nice. You're
It
just like,
does.
oh, look how nice my bathroom,
Mhm.
cabinet looks. Because right now, girl, my bathroom cabinet is it is like
It's a shit show.
it's hoarding like to the nines. Like I've got way too much crap in there.
Well,
It's
maybe that's your weekend
it's a
project.
project.
Mhm. It's a
Yeah,
winter
for
project.
sure. For me.
And I think this kind again, if you don't meditate, if meditation is hard for you, Penny recommended practice deep breathing. Now
Mm.
that I do, I
Yeah.
do deep breathe, especially when I suffer from anxiety. I take medicine for it. I'm on Wellbutrin. I share it with everybody. I don't hide that.
Mhm.
So oftentimes when I feel like I can feel the anxiety kind of building up,
Mm.
I will just put everything aside.
Yeah.
I'll turn the light off, I'll light a candle, and I just breathe.
Yeah.
And I know there's this thing called box breathing, which I have to do a little bit more research on. But
Mm.
my daughter, who also suffers from anxiety, her therapist recommended this box breathing method. So
Wow.
if if deep breathing is something you think can help you,
Mhm.
again, maybe do a little bit more research on box breathing. I certainly will as well. But I
Mm.
definitely do that very deep inhale and exhale.
It helps tremendously.
Yeah.
I mean, just 3
Or
or
yogi
4.
breathing. I do yoga, so I'll do yoga
Oh,
breathing.
okay.
Mhm.
I like that. I love it. I do that too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I just need, especially like if someone in my house has triggered me, and I'm like, oh my god, sometimes you just need to take a few breaths.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before you kill them.
Yep.
Exercise indoors, and YouTube is great for this. So you and I both exercise to YouTube.
Yes.
Go YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're not going to
Yes.
exercise for you though, but
No.
please subscribe. But and you can sort of cast it to your TV, which so from
Yes.
your phone you can cast it to your TV. And
Yeah.
actually now I think our TV just automatically picks up YouTube.
Yeah.
But whether you don't like to go to the gym, whether financially you don't want to make that investment,
Yeah.
but you want to work out,
Yeah.
there's really no excuses because you can find everything you want to do on YouTube.
Yes. I mean, apparently it's the choice of many young people.
Hmm.
That's all that is all my son really consumes
Yeah,
is
it's
YouTube
YouTube.
videos.
Hmm.
He I think he goes on Snapchat. He's 16, but he doesn't really go on Instagram or the traditional social media platforms. He loves YouTube,
Hmm.
and that's his
Yeah.
preferred platform.
And you can
And
find
there's so
anything for
much.
any
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Do you know I did a this made me feel a little bit old, but then it also made me feel really good about myself
Mhm.
because if you like I have a lot of physical ailments which I've mentioned before. So I have to do super low impact everything, which is hard for me because I was an athlete growing up.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to make that adjustment.
Yeah.
But I did a silver sneakers workout the other day. Are you
Nice.
familiar with silver sneakers?
No.
So silver sneakers has a YouTube channel, but it's the workout is really um geared toward older people. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking like probably 70
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
But I've said to people before, like mentally I'm 20,
Yeah.
right? But physically I'm about 80.
Yeah.
So the silver sneakers workout was fantastic. So
Awesome.
again, like you don't have to worry about only finding like people that do, CrossFit, which is great if you do CrossFit. I'm
Yeah.
jealous. I can't do it. But there's something for everybody.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm not. I can't get into the heavy hit workouts
Mhm.
anymore or anything like that. I know everyone's body's different, but I'm at a point now that I can't do squats.
Oh, I
That's
can
like
do them. I just look like an idiot.
completely out of the repertoire. But there are. We'll have to do a blog
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
some of our favorite YouTube fitness
Yeah, because I have a
channels
ton of channels that I subscribe. That's a great idea. We
and
will.
why we like
Why we
them.
like them.
Right.
Fantastic. Look at this.
Hey,
Coming up with ideas all over the place.
that's it.
Create a video doing something you're passionate about, or just like us, create a podcast, create a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There is something great about just speaking into the universe
Yeah.
and capturing it on, getting it recorded. I don't know if it's an accountability thing
Yeah.
or a reminder thing,
Mhm.
or just sometimes when you can get things off your chest.
Yeah.
Because I like how you said either share it, you can share it or delete it,
not.
folks.
Or not. I just think that the act of being creative is the point here. And
Yeah.
sometimes when like you had a really cool baking video over the
Mhm.
holidays,
Yeah.
and I was just like, that was really neat. Like
Mhm.
I was, interested in it, and I watched it. So I think that it's just really cool to create things
Yeah,
that are,
absolutely.
that you're doing in your life,
Mhm.
and you can share it or not.
Right. And here's the thing, just because you make it doesn't have to go out to the whole world. You don't have to put it on social media. You could send it to loved ones. You could just save
Oh,
it on your
listen,
phone.
I have got several videos. I haven't even posted yet on my
Mhm.
personal platform because I've just been so busy. But maybe I will. Maybe I
Maybe you
won't.
will. We'll see.
We'll
To be
see.
continued. I love this one. Spend time with positive people. Now, I think that is something that's important, whether
Mm.
you're in the druthers of the winter blues
Mhm.
or any day of the week in
Yeah.
any year. And I think it's as we get older, and
Mhm.
maybe I'm just speaking for myself, I have definitely shed those people that are just negative Nancy's. That just like
Yeah.
they will take the air out of a room
Yes. So
the
I
second they walk into it.
and I don't know about you, but this is something that I've learned in my older years, that life is short, and
Mhm.
you should definitely, happiness is a choice, and part of that choice is being around people
Yeah.
who
Lift
make
you
you
up.
feel good.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
um, And that can be hard to do, especially if you have family members who you can't get away from. But I think the important message here is that try to find those positive
Yeah.
people and spend as much time with them, because that's it makes a difference.
Sure does. Okay. These two I really love, and I'll say them both at the same time. So, subscribe to positive affirmations,
Mm,
or remind yourself of your mantra or your mission or
mm,
whatever it is, but like tap into that.
yeah.
And then the other one was pray. Pray for, now I realize not everyone's religious, but some people may have deep faith and they still pray.
Yeah.
Pray for yourself, pray for loved ones, pray for strangers. There is the power of prayer, really is.
Yes.
It will change the way you look at your day, the way you
Yeah.
look at a moment.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think that, to your point, you don't have to be deeply religious to do this, or religious at all. I just
Mhm.
think that it really helps to speak to a higher
Power. Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
and just ask for what you want,
Right.
pray for other people,
Mhm.
especially, and yeah,
Yeah.
that says
Those
it
are great.
all.
Love that. Visit a farmer's market, savor fresh foods, right? Like,
Mm,
and it is. We talk about this a lot, but like when you put good food
yeah,
into your system,
yeah.
I mean, you can't help but start to feel great about
Yes,
yourself.
yeah. The farmers market here locally does
Mhm.
a great job. And there's so many local purveyors
Mhm.
of not just fruits and vegetables, but meat.
Right.
I mean, I love going to farmers markets. There's
And it's not
always
just good
something
for
really
you,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
You're like supporting local businesses.
Yep.
We both were small business owners, so we're all about supporting small business.
Yeah.
You're helping, with, sustainability
Yeah.
and, the environment. And
Hmm.
so there's a number of feel goods, I think, that
Number.
come out of that.
And it's communal.
And it's
You're
communal.
getting out of your house and going and contributing to something positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Do yoga or just do some stretches. Yeah, I'm a big.
I
I
have
love
to.
yoga. I've been doing yoga my entire life.
Yeah.
Little sad that there's certain things I can't do anymore, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Yoga. One of the things I love about yoga that I learned, it's like you're practicing for you.
Yeah.
There's no competition,
Mm.
right? And
Hmm.
so it is one of those things where if you can even stretch a little bit further each day,
Yes.
it's that accomplishment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yoga is one of the only physical practices that integrates mind, body, and
Body.
soul.
Mhm.
So it's sort of a trifecta
It
of
is.
just physical fitness.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
And you and we're both like 20 minuters, right? So like when it comes to fitness, and I usually will do 20 minutes of yoga,
Yeah.
and then I'll do about 20 minutes of stretching.
Oh,
And
good
and
for
I
you.
realize that yoga incorporates stretching,
Yeah.
but there are certain stretches that I have to do
Yeah.
because of my back and my hips and,
No, it's
head,
fantastic.
shoulders, knees, and toes, and all of
Yeah,
that
I
good stuff.
actually do bar and stretching.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
somewhat similar.
Bar is hard, y'all. I mean, bar is so hard. It doesn't look hard. Bar is hard. Ask someone to mentor you. I love this. This is great.
Yes.
This is a good one.
Yes, that's something I want to do. I'm looking for the right
Yeah.
mentor. You are an inspiration
Well,
and a
thank
mentor, and
you.
you always have been. But just maybe someone who's sort of out of your purview that maybe you're not friends with,
Right.
who you can go to and
Yeah.
ask for career advice,
Mhm.
parenting advice, professional advice,
Right.
anything.
And
Yeah,
even like a life coach, like
yeah,
I'd equate that to a life coach. My only recommendation was actually go to somebody who's lived long enough to be a life coach.
that's
Just
true.
saying.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Go to a concert or the theater. Yes.
Mhm.
Entertainment all the way.
All
There's
the
nothing like great music, great entertainment,
yes.
especially again, if you can support your local
Yeah.
theater. Local talent is always fun.
Yeah.
And then go on a retreat. Mhm.
I have not done this yet, but
I have
it
not
is
either.
it is
Maybe
on
we
my
need to do
bucket
this
list.
together.
Yeah, it is on my bucket list. I would love to go to a wellness retreat or
Mhm.
a women's retreat.
There are menopause retreats now.
Oh,
And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I
yes.
don't know if you remember.
Well,
'Cause we forget a lot. But I want to dig deeper into them. There's one doctor that hosts them that I'd love to have her on our podcast.
mm,
And so we'll reach out to her. And I really want to know, like, what's the difference between a menopause retreat and just
yeah,
a regular wellness retreat. So we'll
absolutely.
dive into that a little bit.
Or
But
yeah, and if you're into any topic out there that you want to, dive into more. Maybe there are other retreats that you don't know
Mhm.
about,
Yeah.
that could be out there just for you.
Just
Like
for
I know
you.
one of my girlfriends, she used to go to this surf camp for women.
Oh, I love
She was
that.
really into
Mhm.
surfing, and she was like, so she would go, I think she went twice, but she met a lot of, like-minded women.
Mhm.
And it incorporated surfing and yoga.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
great idea.
anyways.
Well, and also it's, retreat could be 2 days, it could be 2 weeks. I mean, it
Mm,
just depends on, what you can handle. And there really is nothing quite like getting out of your day-to-day environment
yep.
and just getting that recharge
Yeah.
and then coming back and, hopefully
Absolutely.
being able to take on the world.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, but get enough sleep. And I
Mhm.
do realize
Yeah.
that, when you are hormonal and menopausal, it's can be really hard
Challenging.
to get enough sleep.
Yeah.
And we all have different things that we
Methods.
do, methods,
Yeah.
yeah, to
Yeah.
help us sleep. But and again, if everything you're trying has not worked for you,
Uh-huh.
then ask a medical
Ask your doctor
professional.
because
Mhm.
sleep is so important.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, seek new experiences or knowledge. And again, I think that sort of ties back to when I read this one, it reminded me of Carla and just like, I'm going to
Mm.
go horseback riding. I'm going to
Yeah.
become an equestrian. I'm going to,
Yeah.
like this could be that moment where you're like, I've always wanted to try X.
Yep.
Well, maybe this is the time to go try whatever that is.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know exactly what experiences I would like to seek out, but I really love this one. I
Yeah.
thought that this was such a
We'll have
cool
to
one.
tap into that a little bit
Yeah.
more. Wake up earlier. Now,
Hmm.
I wake up earlier simply because of my age and I can't sleep anymore. But one of the things I did when I first started waking up earlier was I tried to go back to sleep. I try to like fight it, right? And
That's
fight it
me.
and fight it.
That is me.
Now I get up and I start my day. Even if it means I'm coming downstairs, hanging out with the dog for a little bit, having a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
there is a beauty I have
Mhm.
found in being up before everybody else.
There is, and I've only that doesn't happen to me often, but I feel like if I did practice this, I would definitely feel better about
Yeah.
myself. But
Mhm.
I am definitely the type of person that needs my 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night,
Mhm.
or I just if I don't have at least one night of that, I start to feel like off.
Yeah.
So it
Mhm.
just depends on your schedule, but
Right.
I do believe that getting up super early, there's something about it.
Yeah.
Like
Waking up before the sun wakes up or watching the sun like that, it really is transformative.
yeah.
I love it. I actually don't want to change it now.
What time
Like,
do you get up?
so I'm usually eyes open between 5:30 and 6 a.m.
Wow.
And then I'm usually out of bed between like 6:15 and 7:15. And some of that is I'm not fighting to go back to sleep.
Mm,
I'm just relaxing.
yeah.
I'm just sitting there. I can see the sunlight coming up. That's a beautiful thing, right? When you see
Yes.
darkness turn to light,
Hmm.
there's something really beautiful in that. Now I will say, as the older I get, the earlier I go to bed, the earlier I wake up. So I'm like you, I still kind of need that 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not a night owl anymore. Those days are long gone. Mhm. And I fall asleep during every TV show and every movie. My poor husband.
Oh, see, I
He's
will.
like, really?
Mm,
I got to rewatch this show again because you fell asleep. Yes, you do.
I know. I have to
Mhm.
regulate myself more. I
Uh-huh.
have to tell myself, okay, time to turn off the electronics or stop reading your book at
Yeah.
10:30
Yeah.
because if not, I can just keep
Keep
going.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, Call someone you've lost touch with. I love it. Like reconnection. Reconnection is huge.
Yeah.
Watch a sunrise or a sunset.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We watched the sunset. We were on a beach in Anna Maria Island a couple weeks ago and got to see the sunset. And I
Yeah.
videotaped it. I
Mhm.
will make a TikTok so you can watch it at
It
some
is.
point.
It's
It's
very
beautiful.
inspiring
It is.
to
It's
to do
inspiring.
that. Mhm.
Revisit. Did I always? Oh, I think I. No. Revisit an old hobby or
Mm,
an interest.
yeah.
That's kind of cool. Like, what are the things that you kind of let fall to the wayside, right?
Oh gosh.
That
I
you're like,
mean,
ah, I really need to get back to this.
I got to think back to before kids. I'm kidding. What hobbies did I have? I mean,
Ah,
I would say that I just really just want to maybe just go out and take more classes. I
right.
remember I
Mhm.
used to take more fitness
Yeah.
classes and do things like that. I think I would, because I'm really into fitness, but
Mhm.
I think that for me, that would be something that would be interesting to me
Yeah, absolutely.
to revisit.
I'm about probably along the same lines,
Mhm.
is group fitness,
Yeah,
because I really enjoyed group fitness,
yeah,
and now it's solo fitness for me. I do most of it at home, so
yeah.
that would probably be something I would do as well. Snuggle up on the sofa and watch a movie you love.
Mhm.
Nothing quite like snuggling up on the sofa with a cozy blanket, and maybe if you have a fireplace, a fire, or get candles going, or
Yes.
make soup. We were just talking about like,
Mhm.
oh, good soups. Now
Yeah,
I'm a hearty soup girl.
yeah.
I don't like brothy soups,
Okay.
except for French onion soup. I
Yeah.
love that soup.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite soup?
Oh gosh, so many. I'm a soup girl. I make a lot of it during the winter. That obviously, well, chili is really more of a stew,
Mm-hmm.
but they're kind of in the same
Yeah.
category. But I'm Asian, so there's a lot of like soup varieties out there
Mm-hmm.
that my mother used to make when we were kids. But the one recipe that I was going to share with you, it's out of this book. I think I put it in the blog.
Okay.
There's a link to it, but it's called "Cook This Book," and and it's by this really young, talented girl. Her name is Molly Baz, and so I was perusing through it when I got it over the holiday, and I saw this one that I had the all of the ingredients for.
Hmm.
It was super simple, and I was like, "This can't be that great." I
Right.
mean, it's literally like 6 ingredients.
I love that.
I am not joking you. Like we were like licking our plate. It was so good.
Mm.
And it's basically just chicken breasts, scallions,
Mm-hmm.
ginger, um, white rice or brown rice if you
Mm-hmm.
prefer, and then salt and like what was the other? I think you can add jalapenos if you
Mm-hmm.
want. Oh, and cilantro.
Mm.
And I am not kidding you.
That sounds delicious.
It knocked our socks off. We
Yeah.
were like, even my kids who are fairly finicky
Right.
sometimes were like, loved it. Loved it.
Fantastic.
And so I'm gonna make it, I think I'm gonna make it again tonight because my mom's coming over and I
Okay.
want her to
Have
try
her
it.
test it.
Yes,
Mhm,
but it's so
mhm.
good. But anyway, but there's so many soup
There are,
varieties. I
there
mean,
are.
my daughter asks for chicken soup all the time. So I make her
Mm,
chicken soup with vegetables and
yeah,
it's
I
delicious.
do love a good soup.
Yep.
Do a puzzle. Puzzles are like coming back on a big like, I mean, I know a lot of
Mhm.
people do puzzles, we kinda stepped away from it, but
Yeah.
I also think, like, just for cognitive purposes,
Yeah.
do puzzles. And even if, like, you wanna do it on your phone, like, there's a number of different apps and games that you can do. To me, that speaks to like cognitive development as
Yeah.
much as it speaks to being active and doing something
Yeah.
to get your mind off of the horrible weather that's
Yeah. It's just
outside.
it's and like a crossword
Yeah,
puzzle even
crossword
too.
puzzles are
Those
great.
are fun.
Okay, spend time with your pet or get a pet.
We
Now my
actually
dog is sitting in here with us, and let me tell you, she's dropping them. Okay, like we're dying. Like we need gas masks.
I think the
However,
winner, I'll bet you the winner is the time when people adopt pets the most.
probably
And it's
because they're
because,
good companions.
well, they're great
Yeah.
companions and they're so cute when they're babies. I mean,
Hmm.
you should definitely adopt an older
You
pet if
should
you can, just because they need homes or it's harder to find them homes.
too.
But
Hmm.
I just feel like people are probably doing it in the winter because they feel like they're missing
Missing
something.
something.
And it
Mhm.
is another scientifically proven
Yeah.
method that when you're with your animal, spending time with your
Mhm.
animal, it makes you
Well, they
happier.
can add years to your life too,
That's what
because
yes.
they love you unconditionally.
Yep.
And Mokester, I love you, girl. Please stop farting.
Please, girl,
Please, girl.
help us
Plan a
out.
vacation or a staycation, be a tourist in your own city. Again, fantastic. Even just a couple days, right?
Yeah.
Again, just you don't have to. I know this time of year we've got a lot of spring break coming up.
Yeah.
It's sort of resort season
Yeah.
and cruise season, and good on you if you can take 10 days off and
Yeah.
go to the Caribbean or go to Europe or go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But you can just stay at home and find and
Absolutely.
rediscover
Yeah.
where you live. We've done that a number of
Yeah,
times.
going to the museums in your
Mhm.
local town.
Yeah.
I mean, even just staying one night in a hotel. I don't know what
Yes.
it is about a hotel room, but
Yeah.
it just makes you feel like you're on
It
vacation
does.
every time.
Look, I think you're
So,
switching up the view too, right?
yeah,
Like it's not the same. You're not looking at the same thing over and over again.
yeah.
Participate in playful activities. We're going to leave it up to you on what you think is playful. Rated G, R, X, whatever. plan a date night. We do that a lot. So when the kids were home and now they're off,
Yeah.
we had joint custody.
Mhm.
So we always had our kids on the same days. And so Thursday was the one night for sure.
Yeah.
We were not going to have the children.
Yeah.
And so Thursday was always our date night. And
Mm.
even now that like they're gone, we still try to make Thursday our date
Yeah.
night. So I think
Aw.
that's
That's
yeah.
like a tradition.
Yeah. And
That's cool.
you can make a date with yourself too.
Ugh,
It's
I know.
what is that day if you're not married or you don't have a companion and you do something to spoil yourself.
Yeah.
Make that time to have a date with yourself.
Yes.
And I actually love dating myself.
I do too.
But I do. I like dates where I'm not with anyone. I'm shopping
Yeah.
on my own. I grab a nice lunch.
Yep.
I might go to a museum. I don't know, I might just go for a nice walk without the dog. Then I don't have to pick up poo. Like there's no distraction.
Yeah.
I love a date yourself.
Date yourself.
yourself.
I mean,
Mhm.
I haven't practiced that, but I feel like I would enjoy it as well.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, luckily, I mean, not, I wouldn't say luckily, but our kids are older, so they're not as needy. But my husband and I feel like we have our own little date night at the end of the night. Like,
Mhm.
we can just
Yes.
be
Well, that's a really great
together
point,
and,
Penny.
and snuggle on the couch and not have
Right.
our kids all up in
All
our
over you.
grill
Yeah.
and needing our attention. But so this is a nice age. Now I know that for the younger audience, your kids are still probably like,
clinging
all
on
over
you.
you like
Yeah.
little monkeys,
Mhm.
but so make time.
Yeah.
for
And I think the point that
romance.
it's also great because it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't even have to require going to a fine dining restaurant. Like you said, it could be 2 hours. It could be the kids are in
Yes.
bed.
Yeah.
What can we do to bring sort of back the romance or just
Yeah.
feel like we're connected in
Yes.
some way?
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Visit an elderly friend or relative, listen to their stories and wisdom. Oh, that's so sweet. I really do.
Mhm.
I really do like that. And particularly if they're like in a nursing home or, they're not with you, if you can go visit them,
Yeah.
that just puts a smile on it. It reminds me because when my grandmother was in a nursing home, and we'd go visit her. It like made her day.
Yeah.
I mean, it just made her day.
Yeah.
Sit alone for 20 minutes in silence and reflect on how you're feeling. Write it down or just keep it inside.
Yeah.
Alone time is, I feel like part of personal development is being okay being alone. Even if it's not, I don't mean like alone in life. I mean like, can you sit with yourself for 20 minutes and
Yeah.
just savor that aloneness?
Yeah. I think a lot of this, okay, so this is another one that can be challenging for some people. I've learned how to do it over the years and just really try to write down exactly how I'm feeling.
Mhm.
And I think this works best in the morning,
Yeah.
like over coffee. So while you're having your coffee, just sort of journal how you're feeling today. Like, and I feel like once you do that, it's weird, but it's like, especially if you're not having a great morning,
Mhm.
if you just write your emotions down and how your feelings down, it really helps to sort of dissipate them a
Yeah,
little bit because
absolutely.
you're addressing them head on,
Yeah.
and people don't realize that it can really help, like sort of alleviate
Absolutely.
that.
Without it.
Yeah.
And then you can go back and reread. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll through the rest of these because we've got to hop off here too. But again, writing down your dreams and aspirations. Hot or cold plunge. So we have friends that just got a cold
Ooh,
bathtub,
they
and
did.
apparently it's supposed to be the most amazing thing
I
in the
want
world.
one so
Maybe we'll
badly.
do that on film. Maybe Penny and I will do that on camera, and you can all make fun
Kevin
of
and
us.
I were trying to figure out how we could make our own cold plunge. Because I mean,
Well,
it's basically
get
just
a
like
get
that,
a
right?
what are those pools you can stock tank?
Oh, like a rain.
Yeah, and
rain
make it.
barrel?
You can do that probably.
I mean, I'm
We'll
thinking
get the
that.
boys on it. We'll have them make it, and then we'll do it.
They're not that expensive, so you can get like the inexpensive one. It's like under $100 on
Mhm.
Amazon, but I don't really know like
Yeah.
anything about it, so don't listen to me.
Right.
But they are off.
If you know about it and you do it, we'd love to hear
Yes.
your thoughts on it because
Yeah.
I would try it. I don't know if I'd survive it. And then a couple other things that I wrote down before I wrap up.
Yeah.
So I'm big into sports,
Yeah.
right? And this is a great time of year to get into sports. So if
Yeah.
you're not into sports, this might be something you could try because it'll get your blood pressure going, your
Yeah.
energy up,
Yeah.
you're fresh. I mean, you'll get out that energy And I mean, you've got the NHL and the NBA
Yep.
are both in like the height of their season, right? They're mid-season.
Yeah.
College basketball's heating up. You know,
Yep.
they're getting ready for March Madness.
Mhm.
The Super Bowl's a couple weeks away.
Oh yeah.
Like sports, I don't know. Sports unites people.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Thank God
And
for sports in the wintertime, because that's when
yes,
because it does. It's a nice distraction,
it is.
and it gets people together,
Yes.
and it is. It's just fun to
Yeah.
watch. But I'm not a huge like football watcher, but both my son and my husband are watching it every
Yeah.
day.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
I'm
be in
gonna
my
go do
room
my own
reading.
thing. Right.
But it is.
It's a
It's a
thought.
way to like be
Yeah.
communal and
Eat
have
community.
fun.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And eat good food.
And eat good food.
Probably not good for you food, but tastes good. But then just make up for it
Yeah,
for the rest
later.
of the week.
Eat some celery sticks.
And we're gonna write a blog about this. This is part of New Year, New You, but like the home refresh, right? And so
Yeah.
some of the things I wrote down: rearrange your furniture.
Mm,
After
that's a
you
good one.
take down the holidays, whatever holidays that you celebrate, or the holidays if you celebrate multiple ones, don't put your rooms back together the same way they were before.
Mm.
I did that. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've made subtle changes in all of my rooms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So rearrange furniture, paint a room. I'm
Mm.
getting ready to paint 2 rooms.
Mm.
That's always fun. And we are deep clean, declutter, and then as I mentioned, like bring in more light. Find
Yes.
ways to bring in more light. But
Yeah.
hopefully we were a little light in your day
Yeah.
today, and wherever you are, you're staying warm,
Yep.
you're staying comfortable, you're taking care of yourself, or
And
you
you're
have somebody else taking care of
and
you.
you're helping yourself feel better and
Yeah.
good, and just surrounding yourself with
That's right.
positivity.
Absolutely.
So
And if you feel like you can't get out of it on your own, um, seek a
medical
sounding board, go to
Mhm.
therapy.
Yeah.
We are both huge proponents of therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy has transformed my life.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of it. It's always worth giving it a try. And listen,
Mhm.
sometimes the first therapist may be horrific for you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like trying on, I don't know, a cute bathing suit. Like
Mhm.
the first 3 may suck. And then you find that fourth one's like, my body looks good. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, a therapist might be a little bit like that. So
Yeah.
just wanted to end on that note because,
Yeah.
seasonal blues, the winter blues should not be long term.
No.
Yeah.
It should really just be more like, like you're just feeling a little down
Yeah.
for a few days, maybe a week. But if it lasts more than a couple of weeks, you should definitely seek some medical advice.
Absolutely.
And also, again, it could be hormonal.
Mm,
So take that into consideration.
without a doubt.
But we wish you well, no matter what you're experiencing now.
That's right.
And anyway, love to you all.
Every day that goes by, we get closer to spring and summer.
That's all right.
We'll
Take
see you
care
next
of
week.
yourself.
Take care of yourself. Yes.
Bye.